Everyone, TCG Talk is here. We're here with Matthew Okimoto. We got first place at the Materia Cup here in Florida. This is all the stuff that he ended up winning. Look at this, the trophy, all the promos with that sign cloud. How are you feeling right now after this win?
Feeling pretty good, honestly. Like it's nice to get it, get the day one buy for nationals, and I don't know, it feels good to first competitive event of the season to start off on a high note.
Nice, dude. How'd you prepare for the event?
I played a decent amount. I played a lot at the light locals. Greg has a new store. It's really, really nice. Has new flooring and everything. So playing a lot there. I talked to a lot of people like Brian and Viridian and KP and Alex. I literally talked to basically everybody, and we all talked and spitball ideas, and yeah. That's pretty much how I prepared. Play test a lot. I actually was between either Mono Water, Warrior Light, or Ice Earth going into the event. Ice Earth is kind of like my comfort zone, my baby. Unfortunately, I don't feel confident in Wind and Wind Earth. That's normally what people probably know I play a lot is Wind and Wind Earth. But with FF13 and Ice Lightning, I didn't feel very confident in those matchups with Wind Earth, so I don't know, I decided to go with Ice Earth, and I like the discard right now. Discard punishes early meta, in my opinion.
Awesome.
So yeah, this is the loot. I can move it off.
Yeah, absolutely. Take a look at what you came up with.
All right, so as far as the forwards go, I thought I put them in order, and I didn't. Sorry. So two Laquisias. This card is very, very, very good. So what's nice about Ice Earth, right? At least for this card, I can search for any of my monsters off of Nagmalata. Oh, and I also can pitch them early on and get them back with this, because a lot of times you have Biblos in your hand. It's very good, but you don't want it to get 3 damage. So I just pitch it early on for ICP. Later on, I could just Laquisias it back, right? So I do that with all these monsters, like with Biblos specifically, Mandragora for the Warrior Light control matchups. This is probably a card that everyone's gonna question why the heck am I running a little plant dude? But if you ever played against a Warrior Light deck, they can't really cast a Warrior Light without having 4 different color backups, right? And most of the time, it's either a Thornton or a Shintoto or a Tyro, and this hits that and stops them and slows them down, outside of the Dull Freeze, of course. But this is pretty good. Of course, play this, pop it, play this, get this back, pop the other one, and just slows their game plan down. It stops the Soya color fixing. It's pretty good.
That's gross.
It's not good in the aggro matchup, but it's a tutorable target. If you notice, all my monsters are ice. I have a Earth CP tutorable off of Nagmalata, so that's why this guy was here with this. These guys all work with this, like all of these. I'm going to show all the monsters just because of this guy.
Right.
So Krista, this is very good. We wanted a forward or a monster that could be a forward, so we could Shintoto an attack or Hecaton an attack and be able to work around our board wipes and still threaten damage. This is very good. The random discard is nice, but most of the time I'm playing this, they have 1 or 2 cards in their hand anyways, and I have a Unalesca in play. So the random is nice, but not always needed. It's just nice to have a play where I can play this into this, make him discard or something, or play this, they kill it, I can play it back, make him discard again. I just want a lot of discard routes, right? So there's that one. This card is insane. It doesn't look that good on paper, but the way the deck plays, right, with Skeleton and Unalesca, a lot of the trouble that Ice Earth has is dealing with 4-drop 9Ks or just 4-drop bodies, right? Bodies that are bigger than 8K, this is the answer to it usually. So we get them low. I think you saw on the stream, right? This is how I killed Locke. I have a really hard time killing Locke without Robel, right? So I got him no cards in hand, boom, kill the Locke. And this is also easy to repeat with Laquisias because I can just pay the 1, sack it, do the scrying, and then next turn play this, get it back, kill something again. So it's just very good for a toolboxy monster deck. Skeleton, everyone knows this card's nuts against control matchups. The reason it's a 1-up is because I expected to be a lot more aggro here. This card's not really that good because they're going to dump their hand anyways and you're probably dead. But in the control matchup, it's very important. And so that's why we have 1 with the Nagmalatas. So that's all the monsters. Just showing it with the Laquisias. Outside of that, let me get all the other bread and butter of their deck is Weiss. Basically a discard spell with Nero. The Nero backup so everyone knows. This one. So with this in play, you can play the Nero, make him discard, and what's nice is the discard's off of the backup, not him. So if they try to Amat, they're only between this trigger, not this. So if they want to Amat this guy, they have to Amat his discard effect, his dual freeze effect, not the discard from Nero. Some people misplayed against me in the tournament for like that, but just something to know. But this card's very good. A lot of people got me to 5 damage, and this guy became an untargetable 9k and like really hard to answer. And I just get to keep dual freezing the backups. Again, very good against Warrior Light, right? Because Warrior Light needs their backups. Other control decks very good against. So yeah, that is the Weiss. Everyone knows who basically the best ice card, Physalis. And if you play a deck that focuses on discarding your opponent, this card almost always gets both effects. Also the bullet effect, S effect is nice removal. But yeah, this card's one of the best ice cards. You can't play Ice Earth basically without Robel. Again, like I said earlier, the deck has a lot of board wipes and like dual freezing, but there's certain fours that are very threatening, and you need this to answer them. Also, what's really nice with this is if you have Unileska in play, right? The backup you get from this, just you discard Unileska, you don't really neg any CP, right? So it's very good when you get this online. Also kills monsters. The deck doesn't really have any other ways of answering monsters other than this, so it's like really nice to have a monster rule, especially in the mirror, right? If I get Skeletoid out or something, or Biblos, this can answer it, and they can answer mine. Probably my favorite Ice Earth card that came out was Prish. The fact that it's a 9k, busted. The meta right now is a lot of aggro decks. 8k is a good threshold, like FF13. They're like 7ks, 8ks. Unless they have Fang, that's a whole different story. But other than that, it's like very good against that. Swarry is all 8Ks. Unless if they don't have a Delin, if they have a Delin play, then it doesn't work. But if they don't, kill stuff. But basically, again, just targeted removal for the threats we have a hard time killing. This card, honestly, it was 2 in the deck, but it clumps my hand a lot. One of my top cut matches, I think it was top 4 against the Swarry deck. I went first, and I ended up drawing this as my 6th card, and made my turn very awkward. But luckily, Arcanus is just like insane, which we'll get there in this right matchup. But what's nice too about this is this deck tends to go to endgame pretty well. So there'll be a point in time where I'll just remove and then cast this from the break stone, because that does happen. This game goes. This deck doesn't win fast. It takes time. It's a grind. As you can see, there's not a lot of forwards, right? The last bread and butter is Shadowlord. So this was Titan originally. But again, we have answers to like the AKs and stuff, which is what Titan answers. What we didn't have answers for is like the Warrior Light decks that I'll call Job Warrior Light, or even the 13 deck. If you look, a lot of them are LC, so you can do this against the LC. So there's a lot of even like randomly the Stooge deck. The 3 Stooges are all like this Dream Stooge. So there's just a good card to answer that stuff. And at worst case, it kills any forward, right? You can just if one threatening forward, cast 7, play a dude, and kill threatening forward, right? At worst case. So that's pretty good. Let's go to the summons. I heard people on the tournament talking about needing to buy more full out Hecatons. If you don't have them, they're probably going to be very expensive now.
Thanks a lot, Oki.
These are very, with the current meta, you kind of need 3 in my opinion. Brady and I were testing 2 for a while, and there was a flex spot we kept flipping back. We tried like Arciela, Galoof, like a bunch of random cards. But at the end of the day, we're like, we just want to have our Heka. We need to have our Heka in the aggro matchup, so let's just run 3. So that's why we went to 3. We have the two Misty Boys. The 2 Misty Boys. This dragon, very good. There's a lot of recursion in the format, and then sometimes you need to be able to Shantoto and stop an Amat. But everyone knows Mist Dragon's very good card. And then we'll go 2 Q Sith. There wasn't room for 3, but again, if you notice, we don't run a lot of forwards, right? So I don't really feel like we need 3. But we kind of need these to recur. Again, it makes your early game of pitching forwards not as painful, because in other decks you pitch forwards, you're not seeing them the rest of the game. But if you have to pitch forwards, this helps you get them back. And same thing with backups too. If you have to get like a backup that they break or something, it's good. The last 2 are the tech slots. This card I didn't use all tournament, but with Rydia, I needed an ice summon if I needed to get an Rydia backup. Most of the time, this card will get Unileska plus an Earth summon. But on the off chance I don't have Unileskas in my deck, or I don't need a Unileska, I can play this to get an ice summon plus another Rydia and just get CP basically. But that's basically the only reason this is in here. Randomly, it's good against like 2 CP Windsidanes, the Fire Wind and the other one. But and then randomly sometimes like stops board wipes by non-combat damage board wipes by forwards, but most of the time it's just ICP. This is there for the multi-element again, and for the light and dark, like the 2-drop light lightning, 4-drop warrior light, all the dual elements, the ice lightning are running. Like pretty good, very good tech card in my opinion. Those are all the summons. And the backup. We already talked about the Rydia getting all the summons just now, and of course getting one of the best backups in the deck, Unaleska. So originally we had 3 Unaleska, but it's just hard finding room for everything. We figured with Rydia and 2 Unaleska, we should almost always get Unaleska every game because this can always search this if we don't draw it. So that's why we went that route. Very, very good card. Obviously the 3 Nero gets the Weiss, has the two best letters in the game in the top right hand corner. Very strong, and you kind of need this. The deck kind of feels a little bit weaker if you don't have this because Weiss is not as good. You don't play the Weiss, we can discard. But still, very good ice backup. And then we have the crystal backups. So Robel needs crystals to do all the removal that we talked about earlier. So we went with 5. We originally had 6 crystal generators, but we felt 5 was enough with the 3 Robel. Because most of the time you're only killing Robel once or using Robel once or twice a game, and 5 felt fine. So we did all that. And then we have the 2 Shantoto. It's not tutorable, but you just draw it when you need it. No, I'm just kidding. But no, it's very good. I think you can't play Earth without this card. It's also my crutch. I can't play tournaments without this card in my deck, so it's kind of how it is. Here's the Nagmalata that we talked about earlier that gets all the monsters. And here's the deck that's solo Soiree. If you ever have trouble with Soiree, you just play this card and you just call 4, unless you forget and look stupid. But always call 4. But this is very good against all the aggro decks. This helps a lot in the top cut too, because once you learn their opponent's deck, you can see, okay, they have 17 4-drops, 1 3-drop, 1 2-drop, 1 5-drop. It's like, okay, if I put this down, it's gonna stop over half their deck from attacking, and you can just use your removal on the other cost forwards, right? And you're probably not drawing too much with this deck, so you'll most likely deck your opponent out. But yeah, that is all the backups. Do you have any other questions about the deck, or?
No, the deck is like really good. I know I'm trying it out when I get home. Any shout outs you'd like to give?
A lot. First and foremost, my wife. Always the first shout out.
Has to be.
She's watching the kids while I came here. She always does. Very good supporter. Secondly, to my boys at the Light, my team. Check it out. All of them. There's so many. I'm not gonna name all the names of all the boys at the Light. All the boys in the Rice Hills, they know who they are. You know, shout out to James. Shout out to Chris, Toro. The entire venue was awesome. Shout out to Square, because this pricing is nuts. Like, this is like insane. Really good pricing. I think Square did a really good job on that. I'm probably forgetting people. Shout out to my Airbnb roommates at Sergio, Tava, Viridian, Brian. I didn't forget anyone, I think. And then shout out to you for always doing your streams. I watch them. If I don't watch live, I watch the VOD, so I appreciate it. Thank you. Shout out to my finals opponent, Chris Adams. By far the most fun person to play against. He did an amazing job playing Stooges of all decks. No one tested. I didn't test for that deck. I had to read every card he played. He's an awesome gentleman. I'm proud that he qualified for nationals, and I am very happy he made it that far. He's very fun to play against. And I'm sorry I forgot the shout out. Thanks for adding it. And yeah, excited for more Materia colors.
Awesome, dude. Congrats again on your win, bro.
Thank you. Appreciate it.